Good morning, everybody. Guido coming at you from the left side of the Atlantic for a coffee talk. Good morning, Pilgrim.
Good morning, everybody. This is Pilgrim from the correct side of the Atlantic with his morning tea, morning blend. Although it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but I thought I'd call it morning blend. Why not? Anyway, sorry I was away last week, but I had to catch up on a serious lot of sleep, which we'll get into later on.
Well, we can get into it right
Yeah.
now, but my
Well, if
understanding.
you want,
Did you
yeah.
guys ever seen the show Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah. Okay.
So apparently, well, go ahead, Pilgrim.
Well, let me
Tell
let
him
me
about the
just
crime
clarify
spree.
this.
Tell him about the crime spree.
Let me clarify this. If you go to a 1% club like 81 or as they're known, HJ or Hells Angels, they don't give two hoots about Sons of Anarchy. You can walk around with rockers and patches of Sons of Anarchy all day long because it's just a TV show. It's not real.
Oh, it's
Right. However,
what?
they don't. No, it's not real.
Oh.
It's a TV. It's like Peyton Place or something like that.
I
You know
thought
what
it
mean?
was.
It's not real, dude.
So are you telling me that Top Gun is not how the Navy is either?
No, absolutely not. You
That's
know this. You know that they don't
ridiculous.
fly like
That's
this.
exactly how it is.
So, first of all, let me give a shout out to my MC, Custodians MC. There you go. Custodians MC is the only Crown Service motorcycle club in the world, but they're not a 1%er. They're a 99%er. Okay, so they're good boys. They're not naughty boys. Okay, so that's my.
When you guys are riding your motorcycles down the road, there's not like mops and cleaning gear in the back, is there?
There is. There's a van.
Custodians.
Yeah, that cleans up after us.
I'm gonna get beat up by the custodians for mocking them.
Yeah, well, no, what happens is, because it's a Crown Service MC, so you've got military and police and...
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not a law
Yeah,
enforcement
yeah.
one, it's a mixed one. So police, fire service, ambulance, all the rest of it. What you get is an awful lot of blue lights flashing around, you know what I mean? You get priority on the road, put it that way.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. I mean, you can have a naughty number plate and a naughty exhaust pipe. Nobody really cares. Nobody's going to pull you up on that. You know what I mean? But I guess.
So so you're saying the local law enforcement guys know when you're coming through?
Yeah, we give them a shout out just to say we're riding. So they just leave us alone because there's at least 4 serving police officers in the club
Yeah.
and about 30 non-serving police and various different organisations,
Yeah,
loads
yeah.
of military and everything. So it's cool. Loads of veterans. My best mate, my mate Dougie, which you're going to meet on
Yeah.
the day you come down. He's been a member for a bit. So I'm going to be a prospect, which is technically a bitch for a couple of months.
100%.
You know, go and make the tea. go and clean the toilets. Go and do the bar. You know what I mean? But I've kept my moniker because normally they give you a road name of their choice.
Yeah.
But I've kept Pilgrim, so I'm happy with that. That's a thumbs up for me.
So
So
that is something you would never hear in an American motor club. What you just said.
what? A thumbs up?
Motorcycle.
Oh.
No. Go make the
Keep your
tea.
road- Oh, go make the tea. Here we go. Get the beer.
We have a
Some of
bunch.
them are 99%ers. They're not
Yeah.
hardcore.
We have a bunch of those military related ones. Actually, there's a couple that are 1%. Actually,
Yeah.
that are military related. Yeah, it's an interesting world, that whole thing. Well, that's cool, man. So tell us about the ride.
Well, the ride, right. Well, I'm not actually a prospect yet. I'm just what they call a hang around. So
Yeah.
I thought, because I got asked by my mate, would I like to jump in? I said, well, let me see what it's about first. So
Right.
So you know, I thought I've been to a couple of meetings, a bit of a ride out. But as a hang around, you only get an invite. You don't turn up at all the meetings unless
Sure.
somebody
The
actually
ones they
says,
want you
"Come."
to be at. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So they asked me to go up to what they call the Custodian Fest, because that's the name of the group, Custodians. So they have a festival once a year.
Mhm.
So they said, would you like to pop up? And I said, I'll come up on the Saturday. I said, I can't stay overnight, because they're all intense. One of the lads owns a farmhouse with loads of land, so he gives it over every year for the festival.
All right. Yeah.
But it's all tense. Man, I'm 62. I'm not tenting anything. You know, if I'm tenting, it's glamping with a bed in it. You know what I mean? Proper
Right,
bed.
right.
I've done the sleep in a hole in the ground crap before. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well,
So-
let me shout out real quick to Wayne and to Poise for the subs, guys. Thank you much.
Oh
Thank you
yeah,
much.
thank you. Well done, guys. So the Sons of Viper Pro.
So I'm putting two and two together here a little bit because I just sort of realized. Go on, but okay, go on.
You've got something to say, right?
I do, but we'll get to it.
So anyway, so I said, look, I'll come up on the day. Now I should have thought about this, but I've ridden long and hard for years. I'm a hardened rider, me. I
Right.
mean, from 9 years old, I was riding bikes, and I've never stopped. So it never occurred to me. But anyway, the ride up to where this place is nearly 5 hours with a half-hour break. So it's up in Lancaster.
So it's like 32 miles.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, because I'm on the Harley, and it'll only do 32
And
miles an hour.
no, you're in England and you're driving you're
Yeah,
driving
'cause
the
it's
wrong
not- you don't have
direction most
freeways.
of the time. Yeah, you're going the wrong
Yeah, no,
direction
it's a
most of the time.
Well,
All right.
actually, here's the thing. You guys, if you filter, it's technically illegal in America. In the UK, it's in the bylaws that motorcycles can filter and go through the traffic.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
we do all the time.
yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah,
back-
oh yeah. I know that. Yeah, it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's annoying
Yeah.
as hell, isn't it?
It is.
You're in a queue for 2 hours in the motorbike.
Well, I'm just like there goes a death wish right there.
Yeah, exactly. Good job we're not armed over here, isn't it? You know what I mean? Anyway, so I set off at 4 o'clock in the morning, having getting up at 3:30. Now, fortunately, my house general is away for the weekend, so I haven't had to disturb her, which is a good thing. You know, brownie points and all that.
Sure,
sort of
sure.
stuff. So I'm off. I set off at 4 o'clock, and you know what? I am a very considerate biker. I pushed my motorcycle to the end of the street before I started it because it is loud as church bells. So all the kids would have been awake at 4 o'clock in the morning.
And then you just let it rip for the neighbors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I let it warm up, and then I just went for it. You know what I mean? It just, you know, cats were squealing, dogs were barking, and kids were crying by the time I left. So anyway, so I get up there about, and I'll send you some pictures later on anyway over Discord. But I get up there about 9:30 in the morning, having stopped over for half hour or so, nearly 10 o'clock. Feeling a bit worse for wear. The saddle's good, you know what I mean. But you know, as you get
Yeah.
older, the
Oh
bones
yeah.
start to
Oh
creak
yeah.
and
God
the
yeah.
miles play up a little bit, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
anyway, so I gets up there thinking I'm going to have a chilled day with these guys. So I had a quick cup of tea with the guys, and they're all in their tents. And
Oh, you guys are getting rowdy.
they
all
were
sauced
drunk.
up
They were
on
drunk
tea.
on Friday
Oh, were
night.
they?
were drunk.
I imagine.
They
Yeah.
they were suffering when I came in with my pipes. They were like, "Shut the noise off!" So, and these are hardened bikers, you know what I mean? Anyway, so anyway, so I met my mate up there. We had a cup of tea. We had a bit. I took him a load of stuff up as well, some freebies. Basically bars of chocolate, because in the middle of a field in nowhere, you're not going to get any chocolate, are you?
There you go.
So that's how we roll, chocolate
Yeah.
and tea.
Nice.
So anyway, so they all then said, "Well, we'll go for a ride to Blackpool, which is another 2-hour journey."
Yeah.
I was like, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go with you. So as a hang around, I was at the back because you get all the patch members, you know.
Oh, so you're just sucking up all the exhaust and
yeah, right
Yeah.
at the back. Not right at the back because we had two guys at the back with tail gunners, patch guys.
right. To
Control-
keep everything in control. Yeah.
all in control. But I was at the back, so I got to see a lot of patches right in front of me.
Yeah.
You know, I'll send you the pictures. You can see.
That's awesome, man. All right, so then you
Yeah.
drove all the way back home.
Well, yes, and then about 8 o'clock. In fact, this story gets even worse because my mate Dougie, who was an ex-colonel in the British Army, decided that he would lead with his sat nav, right on, not the Garmisch like I've got. He's got.
So was everybody going home?
No, just they were staying Sunday, but there was 3 of us going back.
Okay.
Dougie, me, and another guy.
Okay.
Another guy who lives close, and he wanted because he's hard. He was riding to Spain the next day with his missus on the back for a week's holiday.
Oh,
So we had to
bloody
get back
heck.
down on the Saturday. Yeah, no. So anyway, so we set off at 8 o'clock. Now the idea was we get on the motorway, the M6, run all the way down. It takes about 3 hours. You know, hammering it, doing it, you know, at a good speed. We get about 3.5, 4 hours. We'd be home by about midnight. No, because Dougie's sat nav took us to a motorway that was closed. So a freeway that had been closed off. Great. Right. So we had to then detour through the Yorkshire Dales, which is about another 60 miles, 70 miles, maybe
Yeah.
maybe a bit more than that.
Yeah.
Going north even more. So it was like midnight by the time we got onto what's called the M1 freeway, which takes it all the way down to London, in the Yorkshire Dales,
Yeah.
where it's bloody cold, where it's still snowing in the middle of June.
Oh no, really?
So my hands are now
Wow.
frozen to the handlebars like this, and no winter gear, right? So we then nail it down the M1, A1. I then peel off on the A14, say goodbye, and all the rest of it. I get to the house 3 o'clock in the morning, right? I just parked the bike. I just climbed up the stairs, just dropped everything, and just lay face down in bed, snoring my head off, absolutely gone. 9 o'clock I woke up. You would think, oh, 6 hours sleep. He's done all right there.
Yeah.
Gets up, everything's open. Front door, garage shed, everything. Bike's left. So I had to get up, put it all away, and then I went back to bed. Well, I only woke up about halfway through your stream, mate. I tell you, I was like,
All right.
in
So,
horror.
all right. So
Yeah.
let's go. Let's do a cost benefit risk analysis,
Yeah, let's
and let's concentrate on self-inflicted pain, and the statement that I don't sleep in tents.
yeah. Maybe I should have got 4 hours in a tent. That would have been the ideal. Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
that may have been a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation right there.
Do you know what?
But at least you weren't flailing down the road at 70 miles an hour on a bike at midnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think
I
think you're
think I got.
you're a perfect candidate for a motorcycle club. Nothing
This is
in
what they said.
nothing in that story dissuades me from thinking that you're
This is what when the president come to talk to me, he just went, "You're the sort of guy we need." And I
Yeah.
went, "What? A 62-year-old duffer who can't, I couldn't put them up to fight anybody, could I? You know what I mean?" I said, "A 62-year-old duffer," I said, "who struggles to sleep in a tent."
I'm sure
Yeah,
most
no,
of them
yeah.
aren't much off of your age.
No, they're the same age. Yeah.
Yeah. The young
It's
ones
like
are
the
45,
distinguished
50, right? Yeah. Young ones are just retired at 45 or 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
they
fun.
went, "We need a hardcore biker like you. Somebody could do 12 hours in the saddle."
So I did a similar thing. I started playing pickleball.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, that is hardcore. And golf.
My daughter's back, obviously from college, looking for a job, doing all that stuff, hanging out for the summer, and we've been playing pickleball. Anybody out there been doing any pickleball? It's a silly game, but it's pretty fun. Have you heard of it?
It's intense. Yes, I've heard.
It's
of it.
like
It's
tennis.
intense.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
intense.
smaller tennis with a little plastic
Yeah.
wiffle ball kind of
Yeah.
idea.
You got to be fit, man. You got to be fit to do that. Ish.
Not really.
Or do you
I mean, it
control
helps.
the play?
You try to. Well, you know how it is when you're old
Yeah.
with sports. You try to do it without moving it any more than you have to, and try to be a little cleverer maybe.
That's the one.
Uh,
That's the one.
But that burst of speed to get to the ones that are in the corners and that I used to be able to get to, that's not there anymore.
Yeah, like nah, look
Yeah.
at that.
And there have been a few times. I started doing this. I remember thinking about it somewhere around the age of 45 or so.
Right.
Maybe 10, 12 years ago when I was still playing some softball and some other stuff.
Yeah.
And and I probably started it before, but I came to the realization that in these sports, as I was getting in my 40s, lower 40s to mid 40s, I didn't really feel it in the 30s. It was I already had a fall off, I'd imagine, but it was not in my brain. But I consciously decided to not go after things at times,
Yeah.
right? That I would have sold out for,
Yeah.
whether it was a dive for a catch in softball or just
Yeah.
a full sell out to get to a ball, all the different sports I played.
Sure. Yeah.
And I remember the 40s thinking one day when I consciously did that, I went, yeah. Yeah, that's old guy right there. That's an old guy going,
That's all gone.
whatever. That one got by me. I'm not going to worry about it. Yes,
It happens.
conservation of energy is another one, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm down like 30 pounds, so if I can get another 20 off to get back to where I want to be at 200, then that has actually increased my mobility. I'm not lugging around another 50 pounds, 30 at this
That's
point.
good.
But, you know what I mean?
I've probably frozen up, I think.
You did, yeah. What happened? Oh, did you switch
Yeah.
your Did you switch your window?
Yes. Yeah. Should be back now.
Nope, not seeing you.
No.
I wonder if I turn off, no, I can't do that. You're frozen. You look like you're taking a huge toke off of a spliff right there.
Yeah, see that.
You look like you're just leaning over like, "Here, hold on, I'm gonna take a smoke here."
Wayne, it is such a pretty picture. You need to realise that is a good picture.
How did we fix that last time? I don't remember. It's been a
I
while.
don't know, I can't remember. Call me back. Try that one.
Call you back? All right.
Yeah.
Pilgrim's second screen died on him. So, actually, hold on. Let me see what's going on here. We are having technical difficulties, fellas. As we usually do. Let me turn this stuff off and then figure this out. Here we go. If I was smarter, I would figure this out immediately. But, I don't know. Now he's having trouble coming back up. Well, I hear you, but I don't see
You
you.
hear me? I'm not getting a picture. Hang on. Camera's playing games. Hang on, let me just check my camera. Oh, man. It's how we roll in it.
Yep.
Dear, oh dear. Come on, camera. Where are you going? Why is my camera not working?
All right, I'm back. Waiting
Right,
for
you carry on and I'll faff around with this camera.
All right, faff around the camera. Let's see. What are we doing? Channel news. I should be streaming tomorrow, guys, on Monday. That's the plan. That'll be good. That's my day off. 100 battle challenge wise. Come over here while Pilgrim fights with that thing.
Taking me forever. Dang camera.
100 battle challenge. So new battle pass. We'll talk about that. I'm working on several things. We got the Stag Hound. That's a tier 6. I have about 3 tier 6s left in the game that I don't have 100 battles on. That's one of them. But I'll probably run out of battle pass points before I get to it. I think I'm at like 50 or 60, 61. This is an interesting tank. The British wheeled tanks are some of the ones I've been kind of concentrating on just because they're not great, but they are kind of fun. The Scheme A is in the list. I'm finishing up, getting close to finishing the 832. Sitting at 60% on that. The BZ at 61%, which is not nearly as fun a tank as I thought it would be. You know, Pilgrim?
Yeah. I thought, well, you would think BZ equates to good fun, but obviously not.
I know you're like, oh, I'm gonna run around and derp people and do big damage and all this stuff. And honestly, I started off doing that pretty well, but recently, just the misses and the bounces and hitting people for 52 with the Hesh, because you hit a good armored spot instead of a weak spot, and having the wrong shell and getting penned through the hatch constantly. And the weird angle of the turret there, which is an interesting way to balance the tank with very low armor on top. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's not a bad tank, and I'm doing the try hard thing where they got a lot of good equipment.
Not as fun as you thought
No.
it would be though. Isn't that odd though?
It's occasionally funny when you do hit people for the big damage, but I don't know. Very strange little tank. So working on that, we're doing the Juto, which is a pretty good tank actually. I don't know why I like it so much or why it's doing so well, but I'm at 72 battles with 71% win rate in this stupid thing.
Really?
It's really not that good of a tank.
That's good. That is good.
Well, I think it's a pretty good example of low sample size and did you drop out? All right, Pilgrim dropped out. I think he's reset.
Yeah, no, I'm just there you go. Let me just see. Right, we should have pictures now.
Don't see you. Want me to call you back?
No. Yeah,
Let me try one more time. Sorry, fellas, we're working it. Working it. Yeah, the Juto is a good example, I think, of probably getting a bit lucky. Low sample size and some lucky games in there because the damage is not showing at 1200 or so. That's not a 70% win rate at tier 7.
Right.
It's not even close. Yeah. Oh, here we go. It's trying. There you are.
There you are.
There you are. Did you change?
Right, sorry about that, guys.
Did you change your mic?
No, what I had to do was take the. It's in a USB port in the back of the rig, but I've swapped it to a 3.0 USB port, which is at the front, because you get a bit more. You get a bit more oof out of a 3.0, don't you?
It's interesting because it changed the sound and tone of your mic.
Oh, hang on, let me just check. It might have kicked in the microphone mic as well. So instead of using my GoPro thing.
Yeah, you might be doing both.
Hang on. Oh yeah. Okay. Hang on.
There you go.
Here we go.
That's
Telecast is now
much better. My BMW with the sub, thanks. Even in the midst of the disastrous failure of our technical capability, we got a sub. Welcome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. So Juto, I don't know why I'm doing well in that thing. It just is.
Do you know what? This is the thing about these Japanese heavies and TDs. This line, I have not found. I could be lying to myself here, but I don't think I've found one that isn't reasonable to play. Some are very good, but some of them are more than expected. I think that's the word. Yeah, I quite like them. For casemate TDs, for example, you would think just like the German ones, they're just easy to get rid of, easy to kill, easy to pen. But actually, I've had loads of bounces coming off the TDs, loads.
Yeah, the TDs are not bad. They're not bad. And then I'm working the Blizz, whatever this thing is pronounced, however this thing is pronounced. Sitting at 60% on this, which is decent. Only 48 battles on it though. This one.
I mean, that's
this
by
one.
the time you get to 100.
Yeah, we'll see. I like it and hate it.
Yeah.
I love the big stick. If you're close enough, it's fun to thump people for that much. I hate the 5 degrees azimuth. I hate the drop off of damage at range, and the armor just doesn't let you really play close in. I do anyway, and I pay the price a lot. I have a decent average of 2,300 a game, but this is really one of those all or nothing tanks for me. Either I get in there and I absolutely crush people, or I get wiped out early because I'm trying to get close and get damage. So.
Yeah, it's situational, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like most. Yeah, it's a very situational thing.
So I've dropped.
But I mean,
go ahead.
do you adapt your playstyle these days to how you your tank, or do you just?
Well, I try to, but with this tank, if you're going to do damage, you have to be close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the armor doesn't really allow that, so I go close anyway, and then I eat. If I get face up against the wrong couple of guys, then there's not much you can do because you've already got forward. We're so forward that it's hard to fall back. You know. If I can get close and get a few free shots in, we can do some good damage. I guess there's an argument to be made with this one too. Hang back mid to back for a while, and then late game, if you've maintained your hit points, then get close and personal and do the big damage. That might be a better way potentially.
Yeah. But again, I don't mean to say like it's too much to do. But when you pick your tank, you go, do you know what, I'm going to do tier 8. You get all your tier 8s up, you find your tank, you go and do your thing. I then forget that. I just go and, it's a heavy tank, I'm going to heavy tank brawl area, I'm going to brawl.
Oh, that's a great point.
I've got to find a bush.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or do you consider, oh shit, now I'm in that. So that's not going to, I never do. I just roll off and stick the thing. You know what I mean?
I would say I probably do it more than most, but I do it less than I would like. Because if you sit down and play for a couple hours, by the 6th or 7th game, unless you've really got your concentration rolling, a lot of times you do exactly what you're saying. You're like light tank, go light tank thing. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm on top of my
Yeah.
game, if I sit down and I'm on top of my game, then I'll do as much analyzing as I can when the thing starts. And it's not to say that you're always right on that, because you try to adapt and all that, but it can very quickly become just sit down, click, and go to the spot. You'll see it on my stream. If I later on, mid to late stream, I'll just start kind of, I'll just the game will start and I'll wander off to the spot that a TD goes to or whatever, and I'll look at it and go, well,
Yeah.
shit, this is not probably where I need to go. But it's already too late. I'm halfway there, or I'm there already, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, exactly. That's how I sort
Yeah.
of roll. You know, I get there.
A lot of the best players talk about your mental, and that's any sport or anything. You know this, obviously.
Yeah.
Training, sport, actual operations. If there's something that's decreasing your attention, tired, hungry, bored,
Everything,
distracted.
Even
Yeah.
if you've had a bit of a word with the house general or with your kids, and then you come
That
on,
could be too.
your mindset's not right.
Yep. And all those little things can affect it. So, and realizing obviously that it's a pixel tank game, so we're not talking about trying to save the world here.
No, not at all. But again, you're still invested in the game, aren't you? So you want to go. I say you want to go in with the right frame of mind, and you want to play to what you know is your best ability, even if it's just a pixel game. You've invested time and energy into the game, so you might as well try and do the best.
Right.
What I would struggle with being a streamer like you, or like any of the big streamers, Quickie Baby or this lot, is divorcing the gameplay from my personal situation. Where I guess as a streamer you have to be, although everybody does. I mean, even the best like Quickie Baby and all the rest of it, they lose it at times.
Yeah.
So I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that. But you've got to go in with an audience mindset. You've got to go in to say, I've got to play this game. I'm producing content, so I have to do it. I have to do it the right way. I can't be an arse. Well, you can, because there are arses who
Well,
do.
it is because I mean I've lost my cool playing. It's kind of why 3 hours is sort of my limit. I know after about 2 hours of playing World of Tanks, if I just sit down and do it. Rarely do I, when I'm not streaming, do I sit down and play 3 hours. I mean, occasionally if I'm just enjoying myself and no one's around and I don't have anything else to do, and when I say don't have anything else to do, what I mean is I'm ignoring all the other things I need to do, because there's no 3 hour block I have right now that I couldn't fill with something else more important than playing World of Tanks.
Yeah.
I've rage quit before, Wayne, absolutely. Odd Dog, real quick, I'm on 13 on the first chapter I picked. So I've only done 13
Oh,
total.
that's cool.
Um,
That's cool.
But your point's well
Like
taken,
three.
because like Quickie Baby or Skill or some of these guys will play like 8 hours. Now,
Yes.
but
Oh,
then
whole day.
we've discussed it too, because it's their job. It's their job, right? That's what they do.
Yeah.
And people tune in and they expect to see a certain level of skill out of Quickie Baby and Skill. They expect them to, explain what they're doing and talk about the game. And in the case of Quickie Baby, I think to a large extent be more or less positive, although he falls off too. Skill, I think.
Lately, hasn't he? Yeah.
I mean, Skill, I think they expect to be positive and have fun, but at the same time, he will get not rage, but he will,
He just gets. It's almost like frustrated. He just frustrated.
Yeah,
Isn't he? Just,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I get that, and that's where I would struggle. I think streaming, because my gameplay goes from having a really good. I mean, the way I deal with it now is that I will set myself up to play 10 battles, and then given the win-loss rate of those 10 battles, makes me then say continue for another 10,
Yeah.
or just drop it and go do something else.
Yeah.
So if I only win 1 out of 10 battles, by the time I get to number 10, I've only got 1 win. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm putting it down. It's like anything else. I'm putting it down. It's not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's whatever is wrong with me. It's not working. If I've got 50% or above win rate on 10 battles, I'll carry on for as long as it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these guys, like yourself and that, you'll do 30 battles, and you might have a run of 8 or 9 losses, and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? You're like, wow.
I'm better these days that if I sit down and it just goes badly and I'm not enjoying it, then I'll get up and go. And that
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
often
but-
in a day play 2 or 3 hours, but it's over the whole day. So it'll be 30
Oh, the
minutes
whole day.
here, 40 minutes there, maybe an hour right before I go to bed, or stuff like that. I mean, obviously play a lot. I have a ridiculous amount of battles, so it's I'm not sitting here claiming I don't play the game a lot. If I consider the things I could have done instead of play the game and where I could be in skill wise on those things, I would be. Also, you might think
Well,
that
then you wouldn't have had much fun, would you?
Yeah.
You'd be forever digging the yard over or something.
you might say my current skill situation is showing that I am I definitely am the law of diminishing returns in terms of getting better.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's true, Gator. It's relative, right? It's all relative where you are.
yeah.
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 But I have been
But
playing. Go ahead.
I can play 2 games and then put it down.
Oh, I can too.
You
Yeah.
know, you
yeah.
get that feeling, don't you? You
Yeah.
start it up, you do your reserves, you get into the first battle, it goes absolutely pants. You think, all right, one more. You do one more, and that's absolutely pants, and you just go, you know what? That's stop
Yeah.
this.
Which is why my little goals are. Which is why I've sort of switched to little goals. I'm not grinding.
Little goals.
I'm really not trying to be a 60%, 65% win rate kind of person. I mean, I touch that on occasion in short runs.
Yeah.
But the 100 Battle Challenge, for example, these are
Yeah.
weird. A lot of these are odd tanks that nobody would
Yeah.
take 100 battles in for any real reason. But I enjoy that, trying to figure out how to win with those tanks, even as it can be frustrating at times. I do enjoy
Do you
that.
find you mark those tanks quite easily then?
Oh, some of these I don't
They're not
mark.
played?
Some of them I don't mark.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I've
Even
been-
though they're not played a lot.
Oh yeah, I've taken several tanks to 100 that I didn't even get a 1 mark on, and rarely do I actually get a 2 mark. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't play the marking game.
No,
It's a
I mean,
slightly
you don't max out
different.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
Well,
you-
two things.
the try hard stuff.
Two things. Number one, and we've talked about this multiple times, but number one, I'm not good enough that I can just kick arse and 2 mark in 100 battles.
Right.
Occasionally I can. There are some tanks I do 2 mark in 100 battles.
Yeah.
So I'm not that. There are people who do that. There are people who do 3 marks less than 100. So they're that good. I'm just not at that level.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second one is, I am good enough that if I really try hard on just the things that mark, which are damage and assist, then I could
Yeah.
probably do that a little bit more. I'm not saying I would 3 mark stuff or be 2 mark
Oh.
every one of them, but I would probably be able to bring them to a higher mark status. But I don't care about
Sure,
that.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
See that? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that it's easier to mark tanks that aren't played so much because the averages are lower, the percentage is lower if tanks are not.
It
played.
doesn't matter how much it's played. It matters how good
Oh,
the
is it?
players are.
Oh,
So it's an
right.
average of how everyone who plays it has played it. So sometimes, yes, you're right. If it's an unpopular tank and no real good players are cranking up the numbers, then sure.
Then
Yeah.
it becomes easier to mark.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's where I'm slightly not getting the message then, because I'm looking at tanks in my garage and go, I think I'll try and 2 mark it. I've got 1 mark on it,
Yeah.
and then I think, oh yeah, because nobody ever plays this, but it just never does. I get first class maybe.
Yeah.
I know that's a different thing, but I get enough damage and enough action to do a first class or even an ace tanker, but it never seems to come up with a 2nd mark. And I look at the percentage and go, oh, I'm still way off. Crazy.
Yeah.
Way off. But yeah, I get that, Gator.
Yeah.
So really, you sort of load up with premium rounds or gold rounds, whatever you want to call it. You put all your try hard kit on it. You get your best crew
Yeah.
in it. That's the way to do it. Yeah. Oh, priorities. Yeah, I get that. You can have the team can have a real crappy game, but you can be racking up all the damage towards the end.
Well, again, I'm not saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all these guys who are really, really good at 3 marking are only doing it because they're playing for 3 marks. Because they also have a better win rate typically than I do. But they're the exception.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
like skill guys like Diablo, all these really top 0.01% kind of players. They're that good, so they're going to mark and get the win. They're going to play the
Yes,
3 mark
yeah.
game and they're going to win.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so they are prioritizing the 3 mark, but they're also winning a lot. So it's not a case of me saying oh well, they don't care about winning. Well, they do care about winning because they do anyway because they're that good. For the vast majority of us though, if you want to mark, you need to prioritize the mark a little more than the winning. Let me just put it that, a little more than the winning.
Yeah.
And if you're playing really
Because I
well,
guess
the
if
wins
those
will
guys
come.
Are doing, yeah, it's like when you consistently do 4,000 or 5,000 damage, which I've seen you do. That's a huge chunk of the enemy taken out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it leads to the win. If you've got one or two players doing 5,000 damage each.
Yeah. Anytime you're averaging a
that's-
couple enemy tanks of damage, a couple 3 or 4
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
you are skewing the scales in the direction of your team winning.
Absolutely.
Much
Yeah.
clearly more than if you did
That's
less.
from good players. That's why, as you say, it's not all about 3 marking. A good
Yeah.
player will go in and make 3, 4, 5,000 damage
Yeah.
on a regular basis and be contributing to the win. Yeah, no,
And there's also a little bit to the idea that I'm going off of what Gator's saying there because we just discussed the prioritizing damage versus win, but there's another part of his statement there, the different play style, which is maybe a little bit more careful support damage stuff than getting forward. I typically play forward because that's how I
Yeah.
enjoy playing, and that often gets me caught out and killed and everything.
yeah.
So a lot of the guys who mark will be a little bit more careful, but they also understand when to get aggressive and punch people in the face too. But anyway,
Yeah, no,
There you go.
No. There's the interesting thing. Oh, Diablo's just popped in.
we were talking about
That's the
marking,
interesting
Diablo.
thing. The interesting thing is, see, Diablo, I've just lost my train of thought there.
Marking, support damage, being careful.
Yeah, I know. Let's move on.
Okay, all right. We're still in Channel News. Let's see. I'm still doing a bit of Helldivers. Still enjoying that a bit.
Cool. Is that now progressed to a point where you're happy with your gameplay on that?
I mean, I'm very average. I can handle easily up to moderate. Once I get hard and above, if I have a good team, I can chip in some help. I have decent equipment now. I'm at level 24, so I'm about to unlock the last of the stratagems. So at least as far as that goes, I'm just building up my ship and my bonuses and things right now. I can tag along with there's several guys in the neighborhood who play all kind of my age, slightly younger, and if I tag along with 3 of them who are good, I'll die a lot, but I'll help and kind of be a bit of a damage
it's all part
sponge
of
for
the
them.
learning curve,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can play it. I wouldn't say I'm great, but the good news on that is it's PVE. All you're doing is grinding your own stuff. You know what I mean? Your own equipment, and it's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Grumpy old man so bad at tanks. The only way I can mark a tank is with a sharp. Spit 3 lines on it, Grumpy.
Yeah.
Just 3 mark.
Do it on the screen so my tank goes past the part of the screen that's been marked at least once.
We draw a star on this thing.
Oh, brother.
So that makes me wonder where I am on the Juto with marks, because I'm doing really well with it. Yeah, see, only at 60, 68, so I'm actually a little bit behind on that one. All right, what else? Next stream Monday, we talked about that. I think that's it for Channel News. You got anything else for him? I did power wash the screen room yesterday. That was a pain in the arse.
Oh yeah, you said you were going to do that. Ready for summer.
It is.
So you got all your mold off then.
Yep,
No
all
mold.
the green mold.
Cool.
It's not as bad as it used to be because after the hurricane it knocked all of the pine trees within 10 miles of us.
Yeah.
And those were a lot of the pollen that made the mold. So I get a lot less. I get a lot less of the pollen mold stuff.
Is it sand soil where you are?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Oh, very sandy.
Tree
Absolutely.
roots are very shallow then. I
Yeah.
take it. Yeah.
Yep. Diablos. That's because you're bad, Diablo. If you can't even mark a 50B, come on, man.
Oh, years. You're not trying hard enough, Diablo.
Yeah, try harder. Come on. Okay.
Come on.
Missions and specials. It is time to shill, fellas.
It is time to shill.
But we had a fast rollover to the new battle pass.
Didn't we just?
It was like they closed the door.
Ended,
They just closed the door on 13 and the turtles, and then opened the door and let the Overlord guys in. It was crazy. All right.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right, Zemke. Yeah, you don't need me in the platoon. Sorry, Zemke keeps pinging me to join his platoon just before I switch the game off, so I never get onto it. I'm just about to switch the game off, and I get a ping from Zemke saying, "Please platoon." I'm like, I'm just about to come out of the game. Sorry, mate. Oh, mate, I've got things to do. Sorry, dude. Yeah, I love you, Zemke. You just stop it.
What on earth is going on with this? Huh. Hold on, fellas. I'm trying to...
I can't get a UI up because I've only got one screen. By the way, guys, my second screen died a death the other week. So I'm running off one screen, and I've got an Apple Mac kicked in just to do the chat. So if it goes all pear-shaped, you know why. But yeah, new screen will come after Tank Fest, I think. A warm hobbit.
All right.
There you go, Zemke.
That was hard. That shouldn't have been that hard. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Premium shop. What do we got?
You'll
Not
have to
a
tell
whole
me,
lot.
'cause I haven't got my UI.
Not a whole lot. We got the RBFM.
Yeah. I've got 70% win rate in that. I'm in a load of battles with it as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
good little
fun.
tier 5 for sure.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. It's a surprising little tank, to be honest. Little LTD.
It is. And then we got the Valiant, which you can spend
yes, of
way
course.
too much money on, $36 for some other goodies. And then the T14. I don't know why all these little tanks are for sale, but they are. Then the Basante is out. This is part of the Frontline package. So they're selling the we'll get to this in a minute, but
Yeah.
they're selling the Basante, they're selling the Turtle, they're selling the 122 TM and the ELC 90 ostensibly for Frontline.
Yes, they've got 3 tanks, haven't they? Is it 3? 3 up for sale. I'm sort of remembering what I looked at yesterday because, as I say, I haven't got the game up. So.
For you Frontline guys, other than the Even 90, would you play the Basante Turtle or 122 TM in Frontline over multiple other tanks? Like, would those be go-to tanks?
Well, if you want my input, Guido, I actually
do.
play the STA. The STA, the little Japanese
Yeah.
medium.
Good
That
mobility,
works.
good gun, good pen.
Yeah, it works fantastically on Frontline. That's what I play. I make millions of credit. Well, not quite, but yeah, I really do well in that.
So Wayne likes the Basante.
Okay.
But would you play the Basante over another heavy? Fast Red Horse, like, yeah, EBR Burresque. And we're done.
Burresque,
And we're done.
absolutely,
Progetto.
Yeah.
Questions? No
Yeah.
questions, no questions.
No questions. Yeah, it's that, and as you say, and the Progetto. On the EU, you can guarantee at least 5 or even 6 Progettos per team.
Yeah.
Jeepers creepers, really?
So let's talk about this though, because this was we're just going to jump ahead, but this is pretty funny. So if we go and we go, okay, they're selling these tanks for Frontline, and Wargaming puts out their article. Let's see where it is. Frontline, Hobart's Funnies. Okay, Forces Assemble. So this article, and it's like, all right, Basante, yep, cool. These are the things it has. Okay, here's a typical setup. These seem reasonable, you know. And I looked at skills stuff on his marking kind of, or not marking, but on his equipment index, I guess it is. But the one that made me laugh, I'm gonna watch this. We're gonna roll down to the ELC. And I'll give that time for you to see.
Yeah, it's just got to kick in for me. All right, okay, you're scrolling down now. See how long the delay is? You're still scrolling down, you're still scrolling down. It's at least 5-second delay. And there we are. Oh, yes, I can see that now. Okay. Yeah. 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 Great little tank. Who make the picture?
It is 2024. And Wargaming is telling you to put a camo net on your ELC.
Yeah, absolutely. Who uses any equipment? We just put a camo net on.
What on earth? And I thought, well, maybe one of the big guys, because Skills Index does have other guys' plans other great players. So we'll come over here and we'll check out skills index there. And we'll go to equipment. And, he's got guys like Mouse Karabat, Tanklet, Dacky, Scorpiani the Gold. And I'm looking for the camo net.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who is it at Wargaming that thinks a camo net would be good equipment? Now look, if you want to go CVS camo net binoculars and be the absolute boss bush sitter of all time, then go for it. But understand that this tank, most other tanks are going to have to proxy light you, even without the camo net.
Yeah, exactly. Just with crew skills alone.
Yeah, and so I'm not saying the camo net, once it activates, doesn't give you more camo, and depending on the bush you're in, maybe you got a bush that's only at 25% or whatever. But I just found that to be funny. Then the next one is Coated Optics Turbocharger and Vert Stab. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you get Himmelsdorf or something, you might do something like that.
Well, that's old school setup, Reno. It's what we used to set our tanks up, wasn't it? V-stab, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Vents, V-stab, and
it's kind of this is sort of a tweener, though. It's interesting that they picked Coated Optics and a Turbocharger and Vert Stab. There might be something new. I don't know if there's.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's anything better.
I put
Vents.
Do you put turbos on slow tanks, or do you put turbos on tanks with slow turret rotation? Because I put them on tanks with slow turret rotation. Not bothered about speed of tank, but I want the turret to move around quicker.
Turbos for me, I don't know. It kind of depends on if there's. It really just depends on whether there's other better equipment and what I'm trying to get out of it. Like, I don't even know what tanks I have turbos on anymore. I know a lot of people have put turbo on everything. I did that for a while, but I sort of fell off of it. So I think if it's a medium speed thing, and it's a medium or heavy, I probably won't put it on there. Sometimes I'll put a turbo on a slow tank like a turtle just to get a little bit more oomph out of it.
Okay.
Like a turtle's gun is so accurate. If you swap the Vert Stab for a turbo, that probably doesn't hurt you.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't think the turtle has a Vert Stab, does it? I don't believe it can.
Possibly not.
Yeah, it's casemate, so I don't think it has a Vert Stab.
Casemate, yeah.
Yeah, so they're showing rammer, turbo, so they've got a turbo on it. Rotation or vents, rammer, and optics. Another kind of weird setup. Although there was one guy who had that setup for the turtle.
Well, that's as good as incoming. Put camo net on the T95 so it gets 56% stationary camo. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Nothing special.
Tank pros. I don't know.
Nothing special says the 07RH is go-to frontline. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Glass cannon, as he says, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if
Turbo on the Hellcat, yeah.
you won't be bouncing much with the KPZ for sure. Anywho, there you go. Let's see. We were shilling. What else we got? Oh, I tried to go to the forum. That's no good. So the frontline stuff, a couple tier 5s are in there.
I'm looking forward
Styles.
to frontline again. I really am.
You gonna play it?
I don't know. Yeah, as I said before, I play it on the EU account because it's a free to play.
Right.
So it gives me all the credits I need to
There you go.
carry on playing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But I actually like the mode as well. If I had more time, I would play a lot more on the NA server frontline. But I just don't have the time to do both. But so my sort of my battle pass and normal plays on the NA. But I'll rack up 2 hours of frontline on my EU account just to get the credited.
Right.
But as I say, I like that people. It's like a on-off thing for most people. Either you hate it or you love it. There's nobody in between. I don't think.
I mean, I've played it a onesie twosie over the last couple of years, but I have not sat down and played a significant amount of frontline for a long, long time.
People say. I don't know which people, but I've heard people say that, it's all one thing, and it's not. For me, there is so much fire and maneuver you can do on a map that size.
Yeah.
That you can have different gameplay every time you're in a battle. and you know, all right, I don't make general every game, every battle. You know, sometimes it's hard to make major, but I actually have fun, which is the main thing about this game. I have fun with it because it is fun. It is fun. You know, and
Fun?
you know, you don't get you get general all the time. You
Who's playing? No, I don't.
Yeah.
What is it? Major than general?
Major then general.
What happened to the colonels?
Yeah, what happened to the colonels? The colonels got side shifted. Get over.
Yeah, fun, Gator. I don't even know him. What's he talking about? Fun.
Yeah, that word.
Yeah,
I love it.
Shilling Battle Pass wise, they did not, unfortunately, at least so far, put out that little mission that was, or that package that was $10 that would get you like 20 extra levels,
package,
more or less, once you did
I
it
thought
all.
I saw it, to be honest. It's not on there.
No.
I swore I saw something.
I think there might have been one where if you buy all 3 of the improved battle passes, there might have been some points on that one. But once I started one of the chapters, it goes away. You can't do that anymore.
Okay.
So there was a gold drip one. Did the gold drip one have
Something, wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't know if it had battle pass points involved with the missions though, but maybe it did. Maybe they combined them. Maybe that's why I missed it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, here's a little tidbit for you guys that I found,
Ooh.
which many of you
go
may
to.
know. If I play Frontline for many hours a day on Fort. Wow. Okay.
That's good. Yeah. See, there's a dedicated.
Yeah, he likes it.
player right there.
If we go to missions, guys, I just noticed this one called Keep Up the Fight. I don't know where this came from, whether it was automatic or I had to do something, but I couldn't figure out why I hadn't finished it. It is only for British medium tanks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
From tier 4 and above. So Cromwells, Comets,
Yeah.
Centurions, that kind of stuff. And it's not bad because it'll get you some big kits, a booklet, and a couple bits of pudding and tea. You know, because you always have the pudding with the tea.
Of course you do. I've never heard of anything so more ridiculous as that, but we'll go with that.
I like to sit down on a you know.
Spotted dick and tea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's the right month for that in America, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chubby
Anywho's.
Panda says it's a crocodile bonus code. That's where it's from.
Ah, thank you, Chubby. Thank you. I thought that just gave me a PR. I didn't realize it also. Is that right? Mission complete. Additional experience per battle. Speaking of, do you guys know what? Let's see. Do I still have that copied? No, that's not it. Who's got that? Somebody chuck that code down there. See if I can find it. Oh, I know where it is. Hold on. If somebody beats me to it, that'll be fine. Thank you. Thank you, Gator. That's the one. All right, cool.
Cool.
So you get that mission, and you have to use British tanks. That's a nice little find right there. And that's pretty much it for missions and specials, guys. Not a whole bunch going on. Obviously, we've got Frontline starting tomorrow. We have the D-Day stuff going on. Oh, that's not true. We do have another thing to talk about. Don't forget, fellas, to go to the command center.
Oh, yeah.
You want to come over here. You want to slide down to... It was pinned. Now they've got the historical D-Day stream pinned, which is over, but it still has, I think, the link to it. There it is, Command Center. Did anybody get lucky on the D-Day stream? There were some tanks that could have dropped. Remember to come down here and click, fellas. You got to come down here and click, and you have to accept the tokens. So we're up to this one, which happened on the 10th. No, wait. Oh, will this happen tomorrow? No, I've already received them. June 8th, sorry. See, that's weird. From June 8th. Okay, is this one the 10th then? Yes, okay. So tomorrow this one will go live, and you should... Oh, it doesn't look like there's any tokens for that one. It's just a thing to click on. Oh, no, wait a minute. Nope, there should be tokens involved with that. So tomorrow, theoretically, there's more tokens involved. I've got 25 of 90. So if you've logged in, you can tell how many of them you've got. But all these are live up to here. So click on all these guys, get your tokens, and then go to the depot, not store. You would think it'd be the store.
That's good info, really, because when you do the D-Day thing, it comes up with you've got 1,000 points or whatever it might be, and I've never figured out what to do with them. How do I cash them in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's in the store.
So that's good info.
Yeah, so go to the store.
Yeah.
Sorry, once again, depot, not store. It gets me every time. It's below my camera, but it's the little home front supplies parachute. It's the standard store, guys. You can get up to 90. We talked about last week, which means these tanks down here are 45. So you can get 2 of these tanks if you get every token.
Times, yeah.
And then you have to go through the whole rig.
How many times do you think you've got to do D-Day then to rack up enough?
Probably all of them, I guess. Is that? Did we
think?
get points for D-Day? Is that? Were there tokens for that thing?
I'm not sure.
What we're talking about there, guys, is it's under stories, right here, Operation Overlord. Click on that. We'll go over that a little while later because I'm going to show you how to finish that if you haven't done it already.
Right.
I don't see getting any coins. I think you only got free experience, silver, and battle pass points. But how many? I have 25 points, so I think I got all my points. There may be some points available in streams, I guess.
Oh, okay, that's where the extras are going to come
Maybe,
in.
yeah.
Because I'm thinking you can't do it and get all the points, can you? If you're only getting 25 to max out on each stage.
I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure.
8 Hussars says it's 5 for the weekday and 10 on weekends.
So I think I've missed out on some points because I've missed out on. I haven't been watching streams, so I only have 25. How many? Who has more than 25? Does that mean there's 40 available so far? Chubby. There you go. 8th Hussars at 5 for the weekday and 10 on weekends. So that means actually what I need to do is get a stream going. I don't know if I have enough time today to do it, but I'm going to give it a shot. Fast Food Horse has 35.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wayne has as well. Yeah, I thought that. I thought if 25 is the max, there must be another way of getting them. Yeah, 30 playing. So.
Okay. So I may have already missed out on some. Anywho's, all right. So there you go. Watch the streams. Click on the little things, and that's where you're going to get the points. 8th Hussars has 30, so he's missed out a little bit too. I don't know if I can catch up totally, but I'm going to give it a shot. I got a stream going now in the background. All right, sweet.
Not the Special says you watched the Wargaming D-Day broadcast yesterday. The video with the Chieftain on the LST-325. Apparently, last summer, LST-325 cruised up the Ohio River, and he took a tour. So many ladders to climb out. He's got
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
The other day,
Monday, Friday.
last week we were talking a little bit, I think, about the whole. This is totally random, but think about the historical stuff. There was a picture of a tank coming out of a landing craft, and it looked really small, but actually, there's a landing craft tank, which is pretty cool. It's pretty big compared to the little ones that the men were on, but it's not huge. It's not like a ship. It's definitely a really large landing craft. So
just big enough to put a
like 3 or 4 or whatever it was, and they could drive right off. So that was cool. So I missed 5.
Well, we had, here's a tangent, we had, when we were down in Belize doing our thing against the Guatemalans, we had LSLs, landings, I don't know what the LSL stands for, but basically it's exactly one of those. It's a flat-bottomed landing craft with the drop-down door at the front.
Yeah.
And we had that, and we had 1-ton Land Rovers on there and a load of guys. And I tell you now, I take my hat off to anybody who was at D-Day who went on those sort of things to land, because it's flat-bottomed. man, oh man, does
Oh
it
yeah,
rock in the
they
waves.
roll. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I absolutely pooped my pants in the whole 18 hours I was on that bloody LSL, I tell you. And they won't let you use the heads because it's just for the crew. Yeah, you have to pop your bottom over the side if you're in any way needing the heads.
Oh, good
So,
lord.
you know, the old Navy guys. Mine was called. It was an LSL. They actually named them. Mine was called Easter J Chicken, and it had a big painting of a chicken on the foxhole. So, Easter J Chicken, and I bathed my ring up for 18 hours. Great stuff.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Horrible.
not fun. Anyway, there we go. There's a tangent.
That's a good story to take a break on, though, because we've been at it for an hour. So I need to refresh my coffee. I've been milking it. It is gone. So I'm going to go make a new coffee.
I'm out.
You guys take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back.
Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Now in the shadows came a mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. So in what, if you want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek for the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido.
All right, we back.
We're back.
Another nice hot mug. Yeah, flat bottom, just rocking and rolling, huh?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oof.
Very interesting 18 hours that was.
At least nobody was shooting at you when you got off.
No, that's the thing, wasn't it? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I can imagine what they went through. Well, I can't really, but this is the thing. This is the discussion that I've had with former comrades of mine, veterans, is that whatever we've been through, Guido, is absolutely nothing compared to those that went through that, because they did 5 years of war. 5 years of
Yeah.
war. That, you know,
I think
I can't even imagine how that would, how that goes down.
I think there's a few Marines and Army dudes, maybe some on your side too, because you all were in Afghanistan for just about as long as we were.
The guys in Afghan, I would take my hats off to.
Yeah, I think there's some guys that, if you put all their deployments together, probably have a similar experience. But it'd be 6 months and then back out and then back in, and so we definitely have some veterans here from Afghanistan and Iraq that have went through that what I would
to those games,
yeah, absolutely, probably a very similar experience in terms of
Yeah.
combat, but huge scale combat like that's true. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just crazy, isn't it? I mean, if we think back, just not to labour the point, but if we think back to what we did in the Gulf, Desert Storm, you and I were both involved in that nonsense. And that felt like a big battle. That felt like, the war to end all wars. Because there was so much military around. It was unreal. But you've got to imagine that scale and then double it for something like D-Day, or even treble it for something like D-Day.
Well, and then it goes on for 2 years.
And then it goes on for 2 years.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or a year, I guess, really, but something like a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Not that.
World War Storm 2, the one I was in, after yours, was 2 months or whatever it was.
Yeah. But it's still. Yeah.
And then it just drug on.
Famous. Well, that's it. Then it goes on forever, doesn't it? But we were famous for the 100-hour war, weren't we? Ours was a 100-hour war.
Yeah.
The first one. Oh, dear. Crazy.
Alrighty then. I think that's it for Shilling. Do you have any other? I think boys.
No, not really. I think pretty much the same as. But I do like the fact that they turned the battle pass around quite quickly. That was, as you say, shut the door, open the door, wasn't it? So yeah, that was quite interesting. I don't know what the thinking behind that was, but I guess with Frontlines coming out as well, they probably just wanted to get it running. I don't know.
Yep. So we'll talk about that first for Frontlines. If you go to the Armored Patrol, they've actually got a kind of cool thing here if you're curious and want to know. Most everyone understands the math at this point, but there's about 88 days. Here's a little chart if you want to copy it out of the Armored Patrol, but it basically goes over where you should be level-wise each day. There's 88 total days of Battle Pass. There's 150 Battle Pass levels, but I think, remember, there's also a special Battle Pass level in there somewhere too?
Yes, was there not
They haven't advertised what it is. Yeah, there's going to be an add-on, and those are usually 40 more. Ish, I guess. Something. The last couple, I think, have been 40. So that'd be 128. Essentially, if you're doing roughly, let's see, 50, 150, 190.
Yeah.
88 times 2, roughly 2 a day, 2 levels a day ish. Yeah. So if you're averaging 2 a day, it's going to be a little more than that if you're going to do the special battle pass, I think.
But that's not unachievable. That's an hour's play.
Yeah.
Really. Maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah, you can get kind of a level out of. It gets different if you're going to start playing Frontline, because there are. We'll look at that here as well. Let's jump over to Frontline real quick, because you can get points from Frontline, and I haven't done it enough to know how long it might take you to do this.
I don't, to be honest, because I play a lot on the EU Frontlines, I don't notice any considerable reduction in time for Battle Pass. It's not massive, you know what I mean? It's a few points, I think.
There's 160 points available in it if you if you progress to 20, level 20 or tier 20. Yeah. And I don't know how long that takes, fellas. And I don't know how that math equates to if you played the same amount of time in a random, would you get the same amount?
Yeah.
What I also don't know is, I think you get battle pass points per battle, don't you, as well?
For Frontline?
Yeah.
Yeah, per battle.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
And then there's extra at these cutoff points for these different levels.
Yeah.
Rewards. And following rewards. Okay, that's just rewards. 3 lines. I don't know.
I think you do.
25 points for top 5 on a win. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. That's half a level right there. Is that it? Is there nothing? Does it fall off after that? Oh, Chubby Pound is trying to put a link in there. Rewards. No. I love how they don't have the details. Maybe it's on a different article. The guide link? Okay. Guide link. Guide. Frontline guide. There it is. All right.
Grendel is on the opposite scale to me as when it comes to Frontline. Grendel says, if it wasn't so god awful to play, I'd do it for the bonds. There.
There's a lot to it here. A lot. Captain.
Chubby Panda says it's right at the bottom.
There it is. So top 5 gets 25 for a win, 10 for a defeat. 10 points to be in top 20, so 6 to 20, or 5 for a defeat. That means if you're 21 and below, you get nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. 25 points. That's a big chunk. But remember, if you're doing that and not your randoms, then you're not getting the extra from the missions that you get for the randoms. So you can get, I don't know, how many points is it with the randoms? It's 50 or something like that, right?
Yeah, Chubby.
35.
Yeah. You'd have to do
45.
some serious gaming, really, yeah. But
Yeah.
like Chubby said, you're doing 26-minute battles
Mm-hmm.
with Frontline, on average. And then to put in regular pub game as well, you'd have to do some serious playing. So I choose one or the other, so and therefore I choose Frontline. So, and then occasionally may have 1 or 2 games on pubby, depending.
So 45 for the mains, another 25, which is 70 points. And I don't always get my bonus one done because that kill 4 shows up a lot, and that's just a total pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But if you figure, plus you're getting the points for the tanks you're playing. So if you do your missions, it's pretty easy, about 50. You're going to come up with at least 1 point, and then you're going to play a little bit more to get 2 levels, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Can you get our dailies done in Frontline? I don't think so. I don't think you can do dailies in Frontline.
It doesn't ring a bell. No, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Because it's separate mode, isn't it? It's not linked.
So the good news at the end of the day is you can get points from it, and I don't know which one's better. I mean, I guess if you figure you got 2 25-minute games, that's more or less an hour. In an hour,
You did an hour in pubs.
if you were top 5 and won both games, you'd have 50 points.
Yeah.
But that's an hour.
But if you did it, yeah. But if you did an hour in pubs, let's call it 5-minute games, you probably match it.
Obandu, the 7 crits you can reroll. The kill 4 you can't.
Oh, is that right? I did not know.
Well, you can't reroll the bonus one or whatever.
But no, of course you can't know.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I reroll the 7 crits immediately. In fact, I have a 5 crits here. I'm just going to reroll right now. You can't see it because I got that thing, but I just noticed I have a 5 crit.
But it's just a pain in the backside. Any crits. That is so situational. I mean, you throw your shell at a tank and just hope it does a crit.
Yeah.
And then when you don't want it to do a crit, it does a crit all the time.
That's right.
you want a kill shot and it does a crit. You're like, really?
Yeah. Crit no
He's got 3 hit
damage.
points left and you crit him.
Worst case, tier 4 to get 2,000 damage in a battle for day. Yeah, that's right. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. That was several things at once. Oh, here's something. Have you guys cleared your red dots out from your service record?
I got the upgrade, the uploads a day after all the nonsense, so I didn't see that. But yeah, it was really frustrating people, wasn't it?
So the fastest way is, and you, several clicks, but you got to hide. Just move your mouse over it. If you just hit escape, it'll go right back, and you can kind of do this.
That's the only pain in the arse that I found about the whole thing was escape, click, click, escape,
Yeah.
hover over,
Yeah.
over, escape, click. Wow, man, give me a 1 button press, please.
It's so funny, man. I don't know. They built it in there. I just wonder if maybe they could have for the launch, just not have it put the dots. I don't know.
Wouldn't have mattered, would it? What? You know, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something. Have a decal. You're right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show you how much faster it is, because initially I was doing the back button and clicking, and it was just really frustrating. But once you put your finger on the escape and you're able to sort of just roll through these things, you can knock these out real quick. I'm doing it while I'm talking, and just like that, I think I finished. There you go. So all the I left that for you guys. I wanted to show you how to just blast through that as fast as possible.
There you go. Look, not the special 123 red dots in one of
But here's the new system, Pilgrim.
Yeah, well, you see, we're all Supreme Commanders now, aren't we?
I have 7,560 of the 7,720 random points of I don't know what.
Good. Whatever, yeah. I'm so pleased that I can now look at things and go, yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't care. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I guess I'm up. I can't remember what I am now because I've not got the UI open, but it's somewhere 5,000 something, 6,000, whatever. Because I've got like 535 tanks. But you've got 700 tanks, so of course you're there, aren't you? You know, Supreme Commander.
Here's one I don't understand. Down here is the second front. Own all vehicles in the second front campaign. And there's 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, personal missions.
You got them all. So you got them all. So what's the point in that then?
Own all vehicles in the long-awaited backup and second front campaigns.
Which you've got.
But it says 7 of 9.
But
I don't have the 279 early, but that's the only one I don't have. This is correct. I have 2 of the 3.
right.
This says I'm done with it. But this says I still... Oh, these are the missions.
Oh, got you. Got
Wait.
you. Yeah. Excalibur.
Oh, finishing the missions.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Now we know.
I don't know what does it take to finish the missions? That means you have the tank, but this is showing I've only... So confused.
Easily confused, sir.
So this says I have 2 of the 3 tanks. This says I have all the tanks. That is correct. This says I've only finished 7 of the 9 missions. That must mean with honors or something, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. That's the one I'm confused on. What the requirement is for it to finish the missions. I have to assume it's with honors thing because I have the tanks, which means I've basically finished the missions.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually finished the Chimera totally with honors. I have 2 actually that I don't have honors with on it.
So it has to be with honours.
Well, no, I finished this one with honors. Why does it not say? Oh, that's everything with honors. Never mind. I still have. What is this? Block, cause, and destroy. Huh. Interesting. This is the one I'm trying to do to get with honors. Otherwise, I've done everything else with it. So it must be the total with honors thing, I guess, is what it's doing.
All right. But that, I mean, just to put that into context, you can just leave it running, and you will get honours eventually. Because that's all I've done on my EU account is just ignore accepting it and just let it continue.
Well, you would think, except I can't
Eventually,
do it.
you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'll
Well,
get 6,500 damage,
Yeah.
5 kills, and a win.
Yeah. Might take years, but it does happen eventually.
So I am missing vehicles wise, but now this personal missions thing down here is on the vehicles thing.
Right, let me just-
But I don't understand, guys. I don't get it. It says I'm at 81%. Achievements for vehicle collection, which vehicle types, clan vehicles, and vehicles for personal missions. So that I mean, that checks. I'm missing all kinds of clan vehicles and stuff, so. But I have all this stuff. I don't know, man. I don't even know. I don't even know what all is going on here. Doesn't
But
matter.
do you want to be what have you got to do to be 100% complete? I mean, some of it's crazy.
Yes, correct. You have to
Yeah.
do stuff.
You have to do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knocking down trees. We can knock down trees, how we all day long knocking down trees.
Trees had it coming.
Yeah.
So that's clearing the red dots. Operation Overlord, fellas. Operation Overlord. Let's see. Is anyone having trouble with it? Let me just ask this before I go into a long explanation of this thing. Anybody still struggling with this thing?
Chubby Panda. Nope, finished.
Nope, finished.
Hey, man after my own heart.
So, for those who haven't finished, I'm going to give you the general gist of what you're going to do. And it will work for rigorous and regular. Number one, you really have all the time in the world, so don't worry about that. Okay, good, Wayne. This is for you. When you get to the beach, go to the left.
Correct.
That's the deepest cover. It's not completely good, but it's the deepest. Then dodge all the stupid arty because it'll give you the
Yep.
marker coming in.
You get loads of warning anyway, so you can do that.
Shoot the first bunker you want the battleship to kill.
Right down at the bottom. Yeah, down at the bottom.
Yep. And it doesn't necessarily matter. I actually went with not that bottom one because he can't hit you. I went for one of the ones up on the cliff early, and I think like one of the middle ones because he kind of had some crossfire. So I went for.
Okay, but that attracts fire to you. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
But I want that guy gone first.
okay. Okay, cool.
And then-
I always do the bottom one because we'll do a two-way thing here, Guido. I always do the bottom one because I can fire at it and not get fired back by him. He'll point the gun towards me because I'm.
Yeah, but then
firing
you
at
got to
him.
come up
The
high. If
the
you come
top
up,
ones don't. Yeah, the top ones don't bother me. No, you don't. You can fire where the sand barrier is, and then there's that little fence thing.
Mhm.
You can fire through the top of the sand into the bunker, and when he fires back, it goes over your head. So all you've got to do is back off the artillery and then come back up again. You don't
yeah, but the bunkers on the cliffs have shots down on top
Oh yeah,
of you.
they can. But if you're not attracting their fire
Oh,
because you're dealing with the bottom one, it's cool. They're not firing at you. They're firing at the Churchill further down. Yeah.
okay. Well, there's two ways to do
Yeah,
it.
I
You
mean,
could do
that's the way I
that.
do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I shot one of the top ones because he actually had shots on me, so we could. But anyway, don't do what I did, which is just keep shooting at whatever one because it'll keep changing the guy's focus.
Yes.
So just
Yeah.
shoot at one of the bunkers. Go left, shoot at one of the bunkers. Doesn't matter which one. Hide there. Go back and forth and get out of the artillery fire. You should come out of there with about 75% of your hit points, maybe
Yeah,
more.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, maybe more. Once all those things are dead, and remember, don't split up your fire. Just shoot at the one you want them to shoot at. Don't worry too much either about trying to take the 100 points that you do, because you got to hit it in the little gun slit. Just shoot it once and get out of the way, and then let it.
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
see the shots go in and kill it. Wait for the crab. The crab goes through, clears out the mines. Follow him up, and then do what you would do in a pub game. Go to the right and get up against the cliff wall.
Yes, that's the one.
Then
That's
come,
the
then
one.
sneak around, and there'll be
Yeah.
a couple Panzer IVs or whatever they
Tanks
are.
there, Panzer IVs, yeah.
Do the hold down thing, kind of back and forth. Try not to stand in because they will shoot you, and it's the standard AI. Sometimes it just whips the gun, fires, and pins at you. It's
Yeah. Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kill those two guys, and then once you kill
Yeah.
those guys, they say, "Hey, we got to get rid of those AAA guns."
Yeah.
I have no idea how we got rid of
No
them
idea where they
because you
are.
kill the tanks and all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
I have thought I might have to go up there and shoot a gun or something, but maybe the tank that's over on the left shoots a gun. Is there actually a gun up there?
Yeah, but I don't know. It doesn't seem. No, it doesn't seem like it.
That didn't seem to be
My AI
connected.
will come across the top. Yeah, I've seen the AI hide behind the bunker
Yeah.
up there, and keep popping backwards and forwards
Mm-hmm.
behind the bunker. So I don't think it is.
Then go up the ramp. At the top of the ramp, there's another bunker. This one has a little turret on the top of it. Stay hold down again on the right side. poke out and keep shooting the turret, and eventually the battleship will shoot it too.
The Navy do the.
I think you could probably pop out, shoot it once, go to cover, and hide, and wait till it blows up, and you won't lose any more hit points. But it spends a lot of time shooting your buddy, who just sits out in the open
Yeah.
to your left. He'll drive up to the left and sit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So apparently
Go there, Churchill.
apparently the Churchill in this game, your AI Churchill, is nigh invulnerable to any damage. Because he gets shot 800,000 times and slowly loses hit points.
Yeah.
Once that bunker's done, come up to the top, and from there, you will now get dog here. From there, you will now get cooldown battleship strikes.
Yeah. You can get battleship. Yeah.
At the top, there's a Stug, and there's another Panzer IV-H or something like that over there. And the point of the next move is go very slowly, wait till you get your big bomb, and drop it on the bunkers.
Yeah.
Drop it on the tanks if you don't want to deal with them, because they'll generally sit there-ish. Some of them will move. Be careful with the Stugs, because they will absolutely pen and hurt you.
Yeah.
There you go. Mark the bunkers.
When you come up the rise and you've killed that first bunker, and then you get your lay the smoke for the naval barrage. If you go right, there's that low ground. So the Stug will sit at the top by the bunker. So if you go right on the low ground, the Stug will face the Churchill, because the Churchill will be trundling around as before. You can come up behind it, the Stug, and take it from the rear. Misses. You can take it from the rear.
And you can track them, so you can do that as well.
Yeah.
So once you kill the Stug and the bunker on the top, there's another bunker and a tank on the ramp in front of you. The way I did it, and the problem is your range of dropping smoke is a circle that's not really very far.
Yeah.
So when you hit 7 or 8 or 9, eventually you'll get 3 of these things at once. It'll give you kind of a look down view, RD-esque kind of thing, and you drive your tank, and then you got to drop the little thing on the smoke on the guy. There's a rock in front there, because there's a big bunker and a tank on the ramp. There's a rock you can actually get behind and drive right up on them and protect yourself from the bunker. And then drop one on the bunker, then drop one on the tank in there. Then what you want to do is you want to go to the east. You want to work along the bottom of the upper cliff to the east and kill the bunker along the way. Sometimes they take 2 shots.
The French guy gives a shout anyway. He needs help.
He needs help coming up the other ramp off to your east. Yeah. So go across there and slowly work it, and do not be afraid to just hide. Wait for your strike and bomb tanks even that are sitting there.
Yeah.
When you come to the other ramp where your French guy needs help, there will be 2 tanks that will rush down the hill.
Yeah, a couple of Stugs, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're Panzer IVs.
Oh, is it Panzer IV?
Be careful with those, because they try to gang tackle your buddy, and if you go raging in there, you can get shot. The problem is there's also a bunker on the edge there that if you dive down to help your buddy, it'll start shooting you in the back.
Yeah.
So I make sure I've got smoke, drop it on that, and then you can come down and you can help your buddy. Whether he lives or not is not a huge deal. From there, go up to the next level and look back across to the west.
Yeah.
There's a Jagdpanther and some other stuff, and just from there, basically, it's be very careful about using your smoke and just put smoke on things.
Yeah.
Once you clear the top, then it's the Bull up on the Overlord map, and they're going to come from the north, more or less. Go to the south part of the Bull and work it from there. You might have to drive up. I would not go up the east side of the Bull if you're ever going to go up, because no one's over there to help you.
There's a Panther up there.
Yeah.
And I think it's a Stug and something else. There's 3 that sit, or no, there's 2 that sit up on the right hand side.
Yes, and your buddies are all on the west side.
Yeah.
Cross over to the west side and work it from there.
Yeah.
And about that time, you're going to have somewhere in there. You're going to have 3 of those smoke things. It'll be the number 7, the number 8, the number 9.
Yeah.
You may have to go northwards a bit, just far enough to put your circle on the big bunker in the middle of the depression in there. So do that. It takes 2, basically.
Yeah.
Don't bother poking out and trying to shoot it. Your bombs, your battleship will take care of it.
In the front of that area where that is, there's a dead tank, which you can use as cover. You can get behind it. It's about 20 yards in front of the bunker.
Yeah.
There's a hull of a tank. You can get behind that.
But just maintain your hit points, because they will shoot you from across the map. you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's very random. Sometimes they'll spend, a minute shooting your buddy, and you could be sitting right next to him. Other times they'll completely ignore your buddy, and everything will shoot you. So don't expose yourself. You can drop the smoke stuff on the Panthers. There'll be a couple more waves, by the way, that come in.
Yeah.
Once you kill that big bunker, several more waves. They will not come any further south than the front edge of the cover, on the other side of the cover that you have. So they won't really be able to shoot you unless you expose yourself. So wait for your bombs and just bomb the piss out of them.
Yeah, you can, because what happens with it also is that they're like cows, they herd. So eventually 2 or 3 will be in the same spot, and you can put smoke on that. You've got 3 tanks killed in one go,
Yep.
which is quite useful.
Yeah, so really my best advice, once you get to the upper level, come across, help your buddy, clear that off, go to the last top level, clear that off. Once you move up to the big bull from there, and then move over to the west side, from there it's just hide basically and be careful. Sure, pop out and shoot, because if you have a bunch of extra lives still alive, you're fine. But don't go out into the open and try to engage them, because they'll just take your hit points off. And then just use your bomb. Be very careful and methodical, and it's even on rigorous, it becomes basically easy. Pro tip, it's at places it's possible to mark 2 targets at once. You mean using 2 different include them in the circle. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you could have 2 tanks and a bunker in the
Yeah.
circle.
And there are places where a tank will be hanging out next to a bunker, and you can hit the bunker and the tank. Yep. And that's it. Pretty easy. There will be 2 more of these things in 3 days that are locked, and there's some more.
That's the frustrating thing, because like we were speaking before we came on air, I basically did it in 2 runs, both the hard one and then I went to go and do the next level, and I was like, well, I've got to wait 3 days now.
Well, and what's interesting is it was easy enough, but there's 15 battle pass points for regular, and there was another 35. So that's
35.
50. That's an entire level just for clearing those things out. Entire thing.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
The next one's 35, probably the same thing, I'd imagine.
15 and 35.
Actually, this one doesn't show any points for it, but who knows? Oh, this must be I wonder if this is the easy. Is it 2 different missions with 2 levels, or 1 mission with the 2 levels? I don't know. Probably 1 mission with 2 levels.
Yeah.
So those are coming up. Anyway, there you go.
Format. Yeah.
Yeah, it's free experience, a decent amount of silver, and the battle pass points I think are probably the best. And honestly, if you want to minimize the time, what I would do is once it comes out, ignore it for a couple days, and then go to Reddit and find somebody put a post on how to do it, because there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And you'll minimize the amount of
We've spoken
time.
about this before, haven't we? We've spoken about when you play games where there's a boss. Once you understand how the boss gets killed, you go to that same thing. AI doesn't change its stance.
Right.
You just go to the same thing again and again and again. Any game you play with bosses.
And I sort of naturally, I more or less did all of that when I won the easy mode. The first time, here's the other thing that I found out is, obviously you all know this, it defaults to the hard mode. So my first game was hard mode, and first thing I did is I drove into the minefield, because I thought purple meant
I did.
I thought that was the path I needed to go to. Yeah. So there's 1 life down. But it made sense.
Exactly that. I came off and went straight through the minefield. I went, what the? Hey, what's this?
And I sort of stumbled my way through the bunkers. I didn't know why it happened, but eventually they all died because I was shooting them. And then, anyway, so then when I went up the beach, I just naturally went to that edge because I'm going to go hold down and sneak around. So that worked. And I came up top. All that was fine. I went across. I actually decided just to go across. I'm like, I'll just clear it across and then come up. But then I heard him talking, hey, I need help. Like, okay, that makes sense. So I just sort of naturally, what I didn't do and didn't really understand is just hang out and hide and wait for your bombs, and it makes it easy. I did a lot of poking, so on the first easy mode, I was down to my last tank and last few hit points, but I won.
It's interesting you say that, because I did exactly the same thing. I didn't click to hide. Next time I do it, which will be the 2nd level, so we'll see.
And I got way too far north. I was up by the bunker, just battling Panthers. Then I lost my tank. I'm like, shit, I can't do that.
You were in the 2nd minefield, weren't you?
Yeah. You know, standard. Guido's up front trying to, you know, circle and punch people in the face and track. Meanwhile, your supposed allies, one of them parks on like the western slope of the bowl and sits there.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
It doesn't stop them from talking, though.
No. Yeah, exactly. The natural way. Now, I'm stupid. And it's official I'm stupid because I'm playing it. I think that the Churchill has a real player in it that's with me. And I think the other two, to the right, have players in it. So I'm up at the top, attempting to get rid of this bunker. We've cleared the minefield, and those two down on the beach. I'm clicking on the beach. I'm clicking on them, going, "What the f are you people doing? Move!" And I'm not knowing that these are AI.
Can you actually click in the mode on the map?
Yeah, I was clicking on the map. I was going, "You tosspots, get up here!" You know what I mean? I was having the right rage. And then I clicked on the second time and it went, "Oh, they're AI." I was like, what? Oh, I don't know. I was hoping I could get chat open and type in "Stay you toss."
I could see, if you didn't know that, how you would get really frustrated by the gameplay. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What are these bots? What are you, a bot? The AI is like, "Sir, I am indeed a bot, sir. This is the best I can do, man."
I was thinking, why don't you come through the minefield? It's open. We're crying out loud. I'm doing all the work here.
Of course, the bots in the background go, "Yeah, well, you're the one that drove straight into the minefield the first time, you moron."
Yeah. Absolutely. Get good, noob.
All right. So that's how you do that. Pretty easy. Can be frustrating if you don't know how to do it, though. Like Pilgrim said, once you know the plan, then you got it.
Yeah.
All right, man. So this is.
Absolutely.
Let's go over here and check this stuff out. We've got there's that chart. If you want to see that, that's good. We've got frontline. Hey, if you want to put tanks on the street through your phone with AR, this is something I saw them. They showed this at D-Day Conneaut in I think it was 2018 actually. It was the summer of 2018 that I went out there. And they had a thing where you could put on the VR, actually your phone I guess, and the tanks would be driving around and stuff. I don't know, whatever. There's an app for that if you want to do it.
I love that. Do you know what? I would actually, I think, because I've got to get a new rig at some point in the next couple of years, I would invest seriously in VR if World of Tanks went VR. I really would, because that must be an experience to be the commander in the tank.
Have you seen the video of the guys that set up the? Let's see if I can find it. See, I was trying to get my stuff on Twitch, and he rated somebody that wasn't playing World of Tanks, so I just got screwed out of however many times. All right. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, here we go. Check this out. Let me know when you see it.
Oh yeah.
You see it?
No, it's a long delay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Gator's like it's a room size sim.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, look at that.
Oh, here we go.
Jeepers.
So there's a driver, a gunner, and a loader.
That is just absolutely crazy.
He's pulling shells out of the rack back there.
Oh man, yeah, look at it go, man. Look at it go.
That's right, the radio operator's
Oh
right there.
man. Ah.
That actually looks like a lot of fun, man. That would actually, if you could get a whole game of people doing it that way, that would be hilarious.
Wouldn't it be fun?
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be fun?
yeah. That was
Look
crazy.
at that.
32-bit. For all you guys that are still running the 32-bit game client with less than 4 gigabyte, you're in trouble. The game's not going to work pretty quickly. That would be that is a seriously underpowered computer in the West anyway. Okay, let's see. The bonus code Crocodile BP. I think we put that out. Where is it? What I wanted to show you. Here we go. Pilgrim. We have a situation developing once again.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we need to take action?
Well, I don't think it would matter. And I don't know if it really is a situation, but on paper this looks pretty insane. These are the new Czech light tanks. So
Just
remember,
waiting for the stream to catch up.
yeah. So remember, fellas, if you're prepping for that, then your battle pass booklets and training manuals probably need to be Czech.
Check.
Yeah. But we have the tier 8. There's 2 tier 8s, but I can't figure out which one of these is the premium. I'm assuming
Okay.
it's the bigger, cooler looking one, but I don't. It doesn't necessarily say that.
What's the stats? Do they compare to each other?
Well, they do to some extent. But so these are the twin barrel autocannon things. I think this one's a 57 millimeter and this one's a 37 millimeter. So we've got,
Oh man.
yeah. So the shell damage is really interesting. The regular round is 8 per shell. The premium round is 5 per shell, and the HE is 14 per shell, with 180 standard pen, 240 premium, and 50 for the HE shell. Shell velocity 800, 1,720. It's 20 seconds to completely reload the whole gun. 0.04 between shots. I don't know what the math is because it's sending 100, and this one's sending 140 shells downrange in the time it takes to shoot all that. Did I say Polish? What did I say? Is it Czech?
No, I think you said Czech.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you said Czech.
Yeah. So the easy math is this one because it does as 100. So that's with the standard. It's what, 800.
Yeah.
That every single shell penetrates. Every single shell hits.
Yeah.
Probably not. But if you get close enough, maybe a lot of them do. The premium one is quite a bit less damage, but of course it's got the extra pen, so that's a balancing thing. That indicates to me that they already understand they have a bit of an issue with balancing this gun, because
Right.
this is a situation where you get less damage with the premium, and that doesn't happen much, if ever.
No.
So, but they've upped the pen by 60, so it looks like they realize they needed.
Yeah. If they had premium ammo that had a higher pen and damage, it would be an absolute.
Or even the same, right? It dropped the damage.
Or even the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the really scary one is the 14 for a 50 millimeter pen with HE. Now I brought this up earlier. I don't know how their crit damage thing is going to work with these rounds. Is it if it's going to be a roll for every round, every 10 rounds, every series of rounds? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the HE can be very useful in finding unspotted tanks and bushes. Yeah. Just spray it into the.
Yeah. Why not? All those TDs with open top turret dead.
I mean, honestly, if say you're on Malinovka and the 2 stare down bushes, you just back off a little bit. The dispersion problem would actually be a help
Yes.
because you're just going to scatter shots all around the place.
You put 3 shots down, guarantee hitting at least once.
Well, I mean, you're putting 100,
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so you just and then do it again and see if someone runs out, because there's going to be freaking
Well, see if it turns black square with the dead name across the top of it.
yeah.
Ah, dear. Oh, man.
Yeah, so also they do 21 miles an hour backwards, which is crazy talk.
That's insane,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's not particularly.
That is just great.
It's decently fast at 53, so it's
Yeah.
not a scorcher, but it's not bad either. 1,600 rounds, and it puts 100 rounds out, so it has 16 reloads basically.
Yeah, that's more than enough for the the 10-minute games that we get max.
0.4. Now this one I think is the Tech Tree one, but it doesn't say on this which one of these is the premium. This one does 6.3 and 10. Less damage, but it's also shooting 140, and it's a smaller caliber gun, I believe. It has -10 gun depression, worse dispersion. A little bit faster shell intra-clip, but it's putting 140 downrange.
Yeah.
So that's 1,400 with HE, whereas this one is also 1,400. Again, that's a very on paper number for this thing, because you're talking about they all have to hit, they all have to pan.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's potential.
What's the entry point? Question. What was the entry point?
I don't know. I don't remember what they said.
Tier 5. It's got to be tier
5 or
isn't
6.
it?
I'm betting it's gonna be
Yeah.
5 or 6. Premium Polish TD, we did have info on that, but I don't know where that they're planning on bringing that in. It was in Super Test, I believe. We had some numbers on it. This is going to be interesting, fellas. I'm not sure. The tier 10. Good lord. I mean, the tier 10 is probably just going to be an absolute monster.
Gonna just. I wonder what's the armor. What's the armor like on it? I wonder if it's a glass cannon. I wonder if it really is.
Yes. Hull armor
wow.
15.
Yeah.
Turret 20.
Okay.
This one's 20 and 30.
Okay.
So it is.
That's its saving grace, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
going to die very easily. Yeah.
Yep. Concealment's
It is
okay. Concealment's at 18, which is okay-ish. Grendel says they start at 5, so he thinks they start at
Yeah.
5. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, fellas. This one has potential to be really broken, I guess. It has a huge potential to be broken. I don't know about its OP-ness. We'll have to see what happens.
I mean, this has been through super test, or is it on?
It's in
Super
Super
Test now?
Test. These are Super Test numbers.
Right. So I guess that this is me being utterly faithful. I guess Wargaming will see the numbers from super test. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess my point on it is the mechanic. Looking at the mechanic, knowing the way the game is played, and thinking about how people will use that mechanic, it has a high possibility of being broken. I don't know if it's going to be overpowered, but in terms of getting in behind somebody and just absolutely decimating, things.
Yeah.
We'll see though. Check Polish TD or
I
check.
can think of a couple of maps where they would be overpowered. I think
Yeah.
Malanovka or something like that. Definitely.
Yeah, Gator. Those are two possibilities. The light, although I don't know how close the light is. Although that's a couple months away. Actually, I don't know when the special one's going to be. I thought it was tied into Overlord, so we might be getting the extra bonus chapter for this battle pass early. Don't know. I don't know what the timing is. I thought this was pretty cool. Hobart's Funnies, which Hobart was a major general. He was in charge of all the odd stuff.
Yes.
Things like inflatable Shermans to throw off the Germans for the planning piece, but there's some really interesting tanks here. You got the Crocodile with the flamethrower. You got the AVRE, Assault Vehicle Royal Engineers. Had a 290.
Yeah, that's the bridge layer.
No, the AVRE, that's in here, but this one in particular was a 290 millimeter petard spigot mortar.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Could fire a 40-pound HE shell
Wow.
about 300 feet, 100 meters.
Okay. Yeah. Look out! I'm coming.
It had to be reloaded externally by opening a hatch and sliding around into the mortar.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the brave guy that does that then? Right, it's your turn.
The bobbin carpet layer, which put a canvas and steel basically road down that made it easier for the heavy tracked vehicles to get through sand, so specific for landings and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. So a reel of 3-meter wide canvas could roll a makeshift road over 100 meters. Then you had the bridge ones you're talking about. So the armored ramp carrier ARC.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
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 So it had like ramps on both sides, would drop it, and you could You could go over ravines and ditches and small streams, stuff like that. The fascines, which is dropping bundles of wooden sticks and meshed brushwood, which would fill in once again another way to go across obstacles and things, which was a World War One thing apparently.
Yeah, well, the Germans and the Soviets used the log thing to great effect, didn't they? We didn't do so much. The Americans and the British didn't have so much of it. But if you look at most Soviet tanks, they carry logs on the back. And they just roll them off.
Well, that's because they were operating in the a lot more mud and muck.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
Eastern Front was very difficult to get around in certain times of the year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was muddy enough
And
in
of course,
Western.
Of course, most Soviet tanks were wood powered, so they used to chop the logs up and put them in the
Yeah.
stove to make them go, didn't they?
Yeah, and to heat up, got to heat the vodka up. It's cold out there.
Oh yeah.
There's another bridge layer that has a big span on the front. That's kind of cool. The double onion, demolition double. Just this big kind of rack that they would drive forward and put on obstacles and things with a bunch of explosives and then drive away and fire it off.
Cool.
Concrete crusher. Explosions intended to shatter concrete emplacements, beach obstacles. And then the crab, that everyone kind of knows that has the chains and it sets off.
Yeah.
The theory is it sets off the mines in front of it.
Yeah.
Swimming Shermans, amphibs, had this big tent that went around it. Of course, the
Have you ever seen a? Here's an aside. Have you ever seen a tank mine go off?
no,
Right. I did an assault pioneer carder back in the day, which is all to do with explosives and stuff, and I did a lot of work with explosives. But anyway, long story cut short, we had Mark 7 anti-tank mines, which is the round discs with the pressure disc on the top.
right,
So they're about this big. I think they contained about 4 pound of Semtex back in the day, or a P4 or whatever you want to call it. 4 pounds of plastic explosive with a pressure plate on the top, which would take the weight of a man but not the weight of a vehicle. And we did a demonstration for some new recruits down on the ranges, and we had a Mark 7 anti-tank mine. So we had a small abandoned civilian vehicle on the range, which we then wired the Mark 7 anti-tank mine underneath it we put a small charge on it to set it off. And then you have to retire I don't know, I can't remember how many yards, but it was 1,000 meters. When you're blowing up metal, you have to retire to 1,000 meters. So what's that? 1,200 yards, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, and of course we've got it all wired in and everything. We've got all the recruits on this hill overlooking this bay, and we set the Mark 7 anti-tank mine off. Now, bearing in mind, I'd put a few sticks of PE4 around the tank mine just to give it a bit more oomph, just a little bit more oomph.
yeah.
So I had a few 8-ounce sticks, and I just packed it round a little bit, just for a better effect.
Oh yeah.
Well, when we set it off, this vehicle disappeared. There was just a hole in the ground with a bit of smoke going up, and bits of metal were flying all over the place. The recruits were like lying on the ground, absolutely cacking themselves. You can hear it whizzing past your ears, and we were nearly a kilometre away. You know?
Oh,
It was
man.
like, whoop. So we went back, and the chief instructor said, "Was that just a Mark 7 anti-tank mine?" I went, "Yeah, yeah, that's all it was." I had to account for the 808 that I'd used. That was quite funny. Oh, what did you do with that 808? Just made a better bang. It was quite funny.
There's a video out there. I don't know if it is what it says it is, but it's kind of maybe it's AI or something. I don't know, but CGI. But it purports to be Iraq or Afghanistan, a vehicle packed with explosives, suicide guy who hit a mine coming in.
Okay.
And you see the explosion, and this vehicle's like, it's up there. And of course, then it lights off. The explosives.
Crikey,
That's what it says it is, and it's impressive. You just see this vehicle flipping through the air, and then it just goes.
Wow. Wow.
So I don't know if that's real or true or whatever, but that's what it showed.
Well, you've got to think that the person filming it must have been in the right place at the right time. That's how I look at it. Is is it a CGI? Because somebody would have had the camera out at the time to see that
Yeah.
and film it. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
other thing we did was simulated nuclear explosions, right? Because if you get, I don't know whether I'm allowed to tell you all this, but we'll go with it until somebody comes and arrests me. If you get a container and fill it full of flammable liquid and then put inside that an explosive device, you get the classic mushroom cloud with a ball of fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, you know, I mean, everybody knows that. But anyway, then if you make it big enough, it looks quite impressive.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to inform the relevant authorities if you're going to pop one of those off anywhere, because it sets all the alarms off across the country if you do that. You know, the old mushroom cloud goes up, somebody goes, hang on a minute, the Soviets have just launched one on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the amount of paperwork that goes behind that, and so that's why I never got to do it, because I don't do paperwork, because I would have loved to have done that. That would have been cool. They did, Grendel.
This is
They did.
This is probably the most interesting one, actually. Canal Defense Light, which was a fake name. So it's an M3 Grant-based variation. It was deliberately named inaccurately to maintain secrecy. It had a specially modified turret, featured a powerful carbon arc searchlight that could illuminate enemy positions during night attacks to dazzle the defenders.
Wow.
It was actually wasn't used on D-Day, that was during the day. It was later used to defend the captured bridge across the Rhine at Remagen from German attacks.
Wow.
I've never heard of that. That is actually fascinating. Just
Yeah,
some
it's
insanely bright light. They'd open the little hatch and just blast it at the enemy.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Grendel.
Yeah.
Would you really want to be the guy that switches the light on, and then the whole enemy goes, "Oh look, there's a big light. Let's shoot at it."
Well, if it's strong enough, and it can dazzle a wide enough area, it would be kind of difficult to know exactly where it is.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good point.
And if there were multiples of them, so the whole area is
Yeah.
just blanked with light, you're probably you could shoot probably in the direction, but it's so bright you can't see the thing. And if it's that much light, then if you get several of them together,
Yeah, you're
spread.
gonna be stood out.
Yeah, I bet it's extremely difficult. Now, if you got a better angle at it, you'd be able to see the light emanating from a point.
Yeah.
But if you're right in front of it, you're probably not going to have a really great idea where that's coming from.
No, that's true.
I mean, it's
I
there.
never really got this. You know, when as weapons progressed over the years. I mean, I could go way back when we were using AR-15s and the likes. But anyway, and you started to have the rails fitted, so you could fit things like light fitteds, all those things. I never really got close quarter battle work when you do CQB in houses and having a light on your weapon, because if I've got a light on my weapon and it's shining, as I come round the corner, the enemy's going to know I'm coming round the corner, so I've got my light off. So, do you know what I mean? I sort of get it, but I don't get it, because I was very nervous about leaving my light on when I was...
Yeah, I don't know what the pluses minuses. I mean, you'd have to talk to an operator that did that. I'd only be guessing. I don't know. My assumption is that there's times when you want the light because you're going in with force and overwhelming aggression and firepower and coordination and teamwork.
Yeah.
So the light,
If you've got four...
overall, the light is a benefit to you. But I think a lot of them, if you're going NVGs, clearly you don't use the light. So I would imagine.
No, exactly that. No, if you got MVG...
Yeah, I would imagine, given their druthers, that they'd go MVG vice using a light of any kind.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just talking on my ass. I don't know.
I was very twitchy. I had the light fitted, and I was very twitchy about using it, especially if you were point man. I just...
Well, I'd imagine you used, if you didn't have NVGs, I'd imagine that you were sort of forced to use the light if you wanted to see anything.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, that is that. There is that, yeah. I mean, most of my op, I did MVGs. A lot of op, I did... Well, the Gulf, I didn't have MVGs.
Yeah.
I didn't have a light either. So...
But I'm guessing if you're clearing, you come in with a light and you light up the bad guy, you very clearly see him. What he sees is a light, and that's where you are. But he doesn't see exactly you because he's getting
No.
advantage.
Well, you're two tapping as you come around the corner.
I'm assuming overall it's advantage you given specific situations. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd have to be, wouldn't it? You wouldn't be using it, would you?
Chubby, there were World War II planes with a bright light system. It didn't work. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a thing about lights, though, Guido. When the Lancaster bombers did the Monazet Dam, their aiming system was two spotlights. And as the two spotlights met on the water, that was the point to drop the bomb. Because, you know, it was a revolving drum, bouncing bomb. That didn't
Oh, so it was a
work.
triangulated point. Yeah.
Triangulated point, yeah. They had two spotlights on the plane. And when they merged, that was the point to drop it. Because that was the right height from the water to allow the bomb to bounce.
Yeah, they turn the lines. They'd just be bore sighted at the correct angle.
Yeah, yeah.
And then once you got to the right altitude, you turn them on, and that's
Yeah.
where you're going to launch. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
So I'm guessing what happened is the light lit up the dam, and that's when you pickled,
Yeah, yes.
right? Because the lights are doing that, and then once they touch,
yeah.
once you go, oh, I see the dam, then you
Yeah.
let go.
Because it had to be the right distance. Because
Yeah.
as the bouncing bomb bounced, it hit the dam and then sank and then blew. It exploded underneath the water
Right.
to give the best effect to crack
Right.
the dams. So they had to sink. So it couldn't sink in early because the explosion wouldn't have done anything, and it couldn't have gone further because it would have bounced over the top of the dam.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
What is Zemke typing in?
I don't know. A recipe for curry. I don't know.
Chai 1824 pie. Is that a code or something? I don't know what that is.
What's turbine lights? Oh, I get you, turbine lights. Yeah, I get you, Grendel. Yeah, that's good.
Well, fellas, that's it, man. We've been at it for 2 hours, so it's time for me to get on with the day.
Cool.
I gotta go to Sam's and get the weekly shop done.
Nicely done.
We need toilet paper,
As always.
water, and
Don't we
coffee.
all?
Toilet paper, water, and coffee. The three
The
required.
essentials of life.
Yes. And then I gotta go doctor my dog since she decides she's got some cysts, getting older, so she has some cysts, and for some reason she decided to start worrying one of them, and ended up popping it,
Right.
and now it's a big open wound. She's been to the doc, and we got antibiotics, and we got it's
Bless
just
her.
a freaking mess.
What you got to do? Put bandage on? Will she keep a bandage on?
Well, here's what we did. Well, normally they put a cone on it, but the problem is she can get her
That's right,
she
stop it.
can get her leg to it.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about, well, what do we do? If we cover it up with a bandage, she'll just tear it off eventually. You know, if you don't watch her like a hawk. So, like, the kids bought her that stupid Christmas coat. It's like a red coat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this poor dog has been wearing a red Christmas coat with bandages taped to the inside over the wound.
I bet your house shadow's happy though because she's got a Christmas dog knocking around.
Now I got to go deal with it. We have all kinds of. We got to mix this solution up, which is like an antibiotic thing. We got to clean it, and it's just not to hurt anyone's breakfast or anything, but it's oozing. It's a cyst. It's a mess. It's a freaking mess.
Okay.
Just an absolute
Bless her.
mess.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Hey, poor thing.
It's just always something, man.
It's always something.
It's always something with the freaking dogs.
Always something.
All right, guys. About a week ago, friend's dog tangled with a skunk. Ooh. I ramped it up the next day and attacked the porcupine. Yeah. Bandage with bittering agent works, kind of. One of the docs said baking powder or baking soda, but not baking powder, baking soda would help stop the bleeding.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
That might that might be what we're washing it with. It's like this blue stuff, and you mix it with some warm water, and then you kind of clean around it. So maybe that's it. Anywho's, I got to get to that. Then I got to get to the store, make a couple videos, yada yada. Anything else for the people there, Pilgrim?
No, I think we're done.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all coming by. Thanks for the subs. Always very helpful. Let's see who we can raid. Who we got? I'm not using Twitch's raid thing because it's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a good week too, man. Like I said, I should be streaming tomorrow. That's the plan. Who we got? Who we got? I don't want to open the raid browser. It's terrible.
No, because that'll take you down a terrible
terrible.
place.
Milepost 202. He looks like an old fella like us.
Just for the name.
Milepost 202. I like it. That's probably where he lives. Let's see. There he is. All right, guys, we're going to raid Milepost. You guys have a fantastic one. Raid's going off in 9 seconds. So this is Guido signing off from the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's Pilgrim signing off at the correct side of the Atlantic.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Laters.